Did you know that the universe operates on a frequency of flow, not force? Often, the greatest obstacle to our progress is not the lack of action, but the nature of that action, a struggle against the current instead of a dance with it. Have you ever felt exhausted, rowing against an invisible tide, pouring all your energy into plans and prayers, only to find yourself in the same place, whispering into the void, "Where am I going wrong?" That feeling of stagnation, despite monumental effort, stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of how reality manifests. We try to shape the future with tense hands, forgetting that genuine creation flourishes in openness, not in control. The energy we emit, the silent vibration of our inner being, is what truly communicates with existence, far more than the words we speak or the goals we pursue. When our identity is anchored in lack, fear, or the need to fix something we perceive as broken within ourselves, that vibration radiates outward. The world then reflects this frequency of scarcity, not as punishment, but through pure energetic correspondence. We get trapped in a cycle of chasing what we believe is missing, without realizing that the very pursuit perpetuates the lack, like trying to grasp water by squeezing it tightly. And what if the most powerful movement was paradoxically stillness? Not a stillness of resignation, but a conscious pause, a strategic withdrawal from the incessant battle. To stop pushing, stop proving, stop trying to force the river to run uphill. It is in this space of intentional non-doing that true transformation begins to take root, like a seed that needs the silence of the earth in order to sprout. By silencing the external noise of struggle and forced effort, we allow inner wisdom to emerge. It is an invitation to surrender, not to defeat, but to a confident, yielding to a greater flow, a universal intelligence that orchestrates reality in ways our controlling mind could never conceive. Letting go is the first step to truly receiving, and allowing life to surprise us with its generosity. Chapter 1. The Illusion of External Pursuit. We live immersed in a culture that glorifies incessant achievement, that teaches us to run faster and faster after mirages on the horizon. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself what truly fuels that race? Is the object of your desire really the prize, or merely a substitute for something that is crying out for attention within your own being, an inner voice you're afraid to hear? The frantic search for external validation, whether in the form of an idealized relationship or a coveted professional status, often masks echoes of old wounds. Like shadows cast in front of us, these unhealed hurts guide our steps without our awareness. Ancient wisdom reminds us that as long as the unconscious dictates our choices, we will continue to call destiny the patterns we ourselves created, trapped in repetitive cycles. The universe does not respond to our verbal requests, but to the frequency we emanate. If our essence vibrates in insecurity, in a sense of fragmentation, or in the belief that we are unworthy, the outer reality will gently return situations that confirm that belief. That's why so many goals seem to slip through our fingers at the last moment. The energy behind the effort whispers a story of lack and life. Like a faithful mirror, reflects that narrative. The invitation here is not to abandon your dreams, but to redirect your focus. Instead of chasing the glow outside, what if you turned inward and embraced the parts of yourself that feel incomplete? The most meaningful journey is not the outer conquest, but the inner integration, the rediscovery of your inherent wholeness. When you become whole, the need to seek external validation simply dissolves. Purifying the intentions behind your goals is the true revolutionary act. It is about becoming the person who already possesses, within, that which you seek. In doing this inner alchemy, you cease to be tested by life and begin to be trusted by it. Genuine attraction blooms not from lack, but from rediscovered fullness, a state of being that magnetically aligns external circumstances with your new vibration. Chapter 2. The silent mirror of the unconscious. We often see life as a testing ground, a stage where external forces challenge our resilience. However, a deeper perspective reveals that existence functions less like a judge and more like a precise mirror. It doesn't reflect our conscious desires or the affirmations we repeat, but rather the silent and powerful landscape of our inner world, the unconscious identity pulsing beneath every choice. This deep layer of the psyche, often overlooked, holds the keys to our manifested reality. We can decorate our walls with positive intentions, but if the basement of our mind harbors doubts, ancestral fears, or feelings of unworthiness, these are the vibrations that life's mirror will pick up. The unconscious cannot be deceived by masks. It hears the naked truth of our energy. Notice the subtle tension that arises when you visualize a desired future, or the anxiety that tightens your chest in the face of uncertainty. These aren't external omens but echoes of your own unconscious questioning the possibility, signaling internal misalignments. Life, in its mirrored wisdom, may pause a blessing not out of whim, but because our own energy is saying, "I am not yet ready to receive this in its fullness." The path to real change doesn't lie in intensifying the external struggle or layering more positivity over inner chaos. It lies in the courage to pause, to silence the mental noise, and listen to the whispers of the soul, to welcome doubt without judgment, to face fear without fleeing. Each uncomfortable emotion is a messenger, a valuable clue about the beliefs that need to be seen and integrated. It is in stillness, in the attentive presence to our inner state, that true power is revealed. When we stop interfering, when we stop trying to dictate the universe's rhythm with human impatience, a subtle realignment begins. The unconscious relaxes its resistance, the energy harmonizes, and life responds, no longer as a test, but as confirmation. Now, you are vibrating at the frequency of what you seek. Chapter 3. Detachment. The Dance of Inner Trust. Many confuse detachment with cold indifference, a shrug in the face of the heart's desires. But what if true detachment were actually an act of deep wisdom and self-awareness? A way of saying to the universe, "I've done my part with intention and presence. Now I trust the greater flow without trying to control the tides." Detachment does not mean suppressing desire, but freeing yourself from dependency on the outcome to feel complete. It is the subtle art of withdrawing your vital energy from future scenarios that were never yours to control and redirecting it to the only territory you truly govern, your inner state. It is the serene confidence that blossoms when you understand that your peace does not reside in the arrival of something external, but in your ability to be whole. Now, the vibration of anxious attachment, the urgent need for something to happen, to validate your existence, creates subtle resistance in the energetic field. The universe, perceiving this tension, may mirror the difficulty not as a blockage, but as an invitation to find sufficiency within yourself. True transformation occurs when the energy shifts from pleading to serenity, from demanding to allowing. Think of the gardener who plants the seed with care and then trusts the natural process without digging it up every hour to check the progress. Detachment is this trust in life's invisible process. When your inner energy aligns with the silent conviction that, even if this doesn't materialize as I hope, I remain whole, a paradox is revealed. It is precisely in that state of non-need that the flow of abundance finds the least resistance to reach you. So, if you find yourself caught in the web of anxious waiting, pause. Ask yourself, what part of me still believes that my happiness depends solely on this outcome? By witnessing that part with compassion, without judgment, you begin to dissolve the knots of attachment. Life does not respond to our urgency, but to our inner peace, to our ability to dance with mystery, trusting in the divine choreography. Chapter 4. The fertile silence of inner emptiness. After the courageous act of letting go, of releasing control over the how and the when, an unexpected space may open up. Silence. Not an empty silence, but a field of pure potential, where the old dissolves to make way for the new. Have you ever navigated that disconcerting stillness, where nothing seems to be happening outwardly, while a silent revolution unfolds within? This interlude, often interpreted by the fearful mind as a sign of failure, is actually a sacred stage of inner alchemy. It is the cocoon where the caterpillar dissolves before emerging as a butterfly. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, does not operate on our linear schedule. It responds to our energetic readiness. Before delivering the desired gift, it observes who we have become in its absence. In this apparent nothingness, known by sages as the creative void, a deep reorganization takes place. Limiting beliefs are deactivated. Old wounds lose their emotional charge, and our nervous system recalibrates to sustain the new reality being woven behind the scenes of the visible. It is a period of spiritual gestation, invisible to the eye, but fundamental for manifestation. The great trap of this space is the impatience of the ego, which clamors for proof and immediate results. If we give in to its narrative that nothing is working, we risk interrupting the process, returning to old patterns of control and blocking the flow that was about to manifest. The void invites us to cultivate faith in the invisible, to trust the secret order behind apparent disorder. Mastering this sacred stillness is the final test before the harvest. It is the ability to feel abundance before it arrives, to vibrate in the frequency of love before it materializes, to embody the peace you seek. By sustaining that confident presence without needing external validation, you become a magnet for your intentions. The silence then breaks, not with the echo of your old lack, but with the melody of your new reality. Chapter 5. The Alchemy of Inner Integration. Every yearning that pulses in your chest, every desire that seems to pull you outward, carries a coded message from your deeper self. It is not an invitation for a frantic external chase, but a call to awaken a dormant quality within. The pursuit of financial security may be your soul's request for inner peace. The longing for connection may echo the need to feel truly seen by yourself. However, the conditioned mind often translates this inner call into external obsession. We confuse the intensity of desire with the need for incessant action. Constant, checking, paralyzing analysis of every sign, a rumination that drains our vital energy. We call it focus, but it is often just anxiety in disguise, a desperate attempt to control the uncontrollable, forgetting that true manifestation blooms in calm, not in chaos. The path to wholeness does not lie in perfecting a facade or acquiring more, but in courageously embracing the totality of our being. This means welcoming not only our light, but also our shadows, those parts we hide out of shame or fear. True strength lies in holding the complexity of our humanity, courage and vulnerability, certainty and doubt. By integrating these opposites, we stop projecting our need for completeness onto the external world. Reflect on this. You do not attract what you obsess over, but what you have made peace with inside. The next time you feel the urge to chase something desperately, pause. Take a deep breath and gently ask, what part of me still believes that this external achievement will fill my inner void? Recognizing that you are already inherently whole even amid your imperfections is the turning point. When that understanding deepens, obsession loses its power. It dissolves into the serene clarity of someone who knows nothing essential is missing. In its place arises a natural magnetism, a radiant calm. Your energy, now aligned with sufficiency, communicates to the universe. I already am what I seek. And paradoxically, It is in this state of being that life begins to mirror your newly discovered wholeness. Chapter 6. The Choice Between Control and Trust. Do you recognize that inner voice that constantly checks the clock, replays old conversations in search of clues, and questions every silence with a touch of panic? That restlessness, that urgent need to know the why and the when, is not your deepest wisdom speaking. It's the echo of the ego, a part of us programmed to fear the unknown and seek safety in the illusion of control. This facet of our consciousness despises uncertainty. It weaves catastrophic scenarios and floods our system with an urgency that confuses fear with intuition. It believes that by controlling external circumstances, it can avoid pain. Yet, the true spiritual journey invites us to recognize this internal dynamic, the constant tension between the ego's demand for tangible proof and the soul's whisper that trusts the journey, even without seeing the final destination. The ego operates on the logic of outcome. It needs guarantees, a detailed map to feel secure. The soul, on the other hand, seeks alignment. It cares less about the how and more about the quality of our presence in the now. The ego says, "I must force this so I don't get hurt." The soul replies with serenity, "I've weathered storms before. I can trust life's flow and my own resilience." The liberating insight lies in realizing that we have a choice at every moment. We can feed the ego's controlling anxiety, remaining trapped in cycles of effort and frustration. Or we can choose to tune in to the soul's inherent peace. Choosing the soul is not passivity. It is an active form of trust, a conscious decision to navigate life with openness and faith in the process. When we choose alignment over control, peace over struggle, something magical happens. The internal tension dissolves, energy flows more freely, and the external reality begins to reflect that inner harmony. It's not about denying challenges, but about facing them from a center of calm and trust, allowing unexpected solutions to arise and life to gently guide us toward our highest good.